When exactly did cholesterol become the great villain of our health and a terrifying disease? We are told all the time that high cholesterol is extremely dangerous, right? They say that low-density lipoprotein, widely known as the bad cholesterol, silently clogs your arteries. They say that having your cholesterol as low as possible is always the best option, and that cholesterol-lowering medications save millions of lives every single day. But here's the big question that most people, and even many professionals, never ask about this subject. Is it actually safe for the human body to have very low cholesterol? Does having smaller and smaller numbers on your blood test automatically mean that you are a much healthier person? Let us look at the real science behind all of this to understand how our biology actually works. Our own body, more specifically our liver, produces about 3,000 milligrams of cholesterol every single day. Think about that for a moment. Why would our body, which is an incredibly intelligent and adaptable biological machine, produce such a massive amount of cholesterol every day if cholesterol was truly such a damaging and dangerous substance? In fact, human biology is so dependent on this substance that if you do not eat foods containing cholesterol in your diet, your liver simply works double time to produce even more cholesterol internally. Babies are born with naturally much higher levels of cholesterol to help with the rapid development of their bodies. Your brain, which is the most complex organ in your body, is literally full of cholesterol throughout its entire structure. Hello, my name is Edu. I am a pharmacist and biochemist. And on this channel, I translate health science simply so that you can understand your body, prevent problems, and live much better. Let me ask you a question of pure logic. Do you really believe that human beings have evolved over 200,000 years manufacturing a biological substance that only wants to kill us? We manufacture cholesterol because it is an essential precursor for life. It transforms and builds the membranes of our cells. It turns into vitamin D when we are exposed to the sun. It turns into bile salts to help us digest fat. And it turns into our most vital hormones. Cholesterol physically builds the structures of the brain and helps support our entire immune system. Our body has used cholesterol in thousands of different ways throughout human history. Cholesterol is simply not a poison. It is a fundamental building block for life. Without cholesterol, you would not be alive right now watching this video. It is absolutely essential in the creation and maintenance of cell membranes. Without these membranes structured by cholesterol, you cannot have strong receptors for your hormones to work correctly. Without healthy cell membranes, you cannot allow nutrients to enter and toxins to exit your cells properly. Without these membranes, your brain and your nervous system cannot activate the electrical impulses for you to think or move. And when a doctor measures your cholesterol in the clinic, they are only looking at the cholesterol that is floating freely in your blood at that exact moment. They are not actually looking at the cholesterol that is working deep inside the tissues and your cells, which is where all the heavy lifting is really being done by your biology. To understand this better, imagine that cholesterol is a precious cargo that needs to be transported by small delivery trucks made of proteins. The two main delivery trucks that people always focus on in blood tests are high-density lipoprotein and low-density lipoprotein, and each one has a very specific and important function. High-density lipoprotein works like the collection or cleanup truck. It takes the used cholesterol from your cells and your tissues and brings it back to the liver to be safely recycled. On the other hand, low-density lipoprotein is the delivery truck that takes fresh, new cholesterol from the liver to the cells all over the body that need continuous maintenance and repair. Many people associate low-density lipoprotein only with the idea of bad cholesterol. But you need to realize that there are two completely different types with opposite behaviors of this same lipoprotein. You have the particles that are small and very dense. And you also have the particles that are large and very buoyant. Unless you get an extremely advanced lipid profile test, traditional laboratories simply do not show the difference between these particles. The small and dense particles are the aggressive type that can actually penetrate the walls of the arteries and create inflammation and cardiovascular problems. But pay attention. This usually only happens when your blood sugar is chronically high, when you have serious problems with insulin, and when your diet is very poor. I am taking a quick and very important pause right here. To be able to measure the real impact of your diet on your body and have the necessary precision in your daily life, I have left a list of recommendations for you. In the first pinned comment right below this video, you will find links to precision scales, health monitors, and the high-quality supplements on Amazon and iHerb that I recommend to improve your immunity and your metabolism. Returning to the types of cholesterol, when you drastically reduce refined carbohydrates and do not have insulin resistance problems, you're going to have many more of the large and buoyant type particles circulating. These large particles are wonderful. They're like soft cotton balls that circulate peacefully in the blood and do not invade the inside of your arteries. They are completely harmless and healthy. This is why it is so important to always look at the whole picture. If you have high low-density lipoprotein on your test, but it is mostly of the large and buoyant type, this does not cause disease. You do not need to panic at all. But when someone has truly high and problematic total cholesterol, you need to investigate and ask yourself the real biological reason behind it. The first major reason for cholesterol to skyrocket could be chronic stress. Part of the raw material needed for your body to produce cortisol, which is our main stress hormone, is exactly cholesterol. If you are under a lot of pressure at work, in your family, or in life, your liver simply needs to produce more raw material to create more stress hormones so you can cope with the daily danger. Furthermore, testosterone, which is the vital hormone for maintaining muscles, bone density, and vital energy, is made entirely from cholesterol. Therefore, when a person starts taking a heavy daily medication to block cholesterol production, they frequently begin to feel a lot of deep muscle pain and a weakness that does not go away. This happens because the medication blocks the formation of testosterone, which is necessary to keep your muscles strong and healthy. And the damage does not stop there. These same medications also block the natural production of a wonderful biological substance called coenzyme Q10. This coenzyme is absolutely fundamental for generating the energy that makes your heart muscle beat every single day. When you have artificially very low cholesterol due to these drugs, you will also not be able to produce enough bile salts. Bile is like the natural detergent of the human body. Without it, you cannot get the full absorption of the healthy fats you eat, like olive oil and avocados. You will also not have enough raw material in your body to produce the indispensable vitamin D. Think about how the human body works in nature. Sunlight hits your skin directly and magically transforms the cholesterol stored there into active vitamin D. If you do not have enough cholesterol circulating in your skin, you simply cannot produce enough vitamin D at all. And vitamin D is one of the most vital and important vitamins for the survival of the human immune system. There are just as many, if not more, serious problems associated with very low cholesterol as there are with very high cholesterol. But incredibly, this is an area of health that we really do not talk about openly. In fact, I bet you have never heard a professional say that your cholesterol is too low and that you need to take care of it to increase it urgently. In biological reality, high cholesterol itself is not the disease that is going to attack you. Your body produces cholesterol to heal and protect itself. If your cholesterol is high, it is important to urgently understand why the body needed to increase production. High cholesterol is just the consequence. It is the fire alarm warning that something much more serious is happening behind the scenes of your health. For example, if you eat a lot of refined sugar, breads, and many processed starches, your cholesterol will go up automatically. Do you know why? Because your liver takes all that excess starch you ate and directly converts it into fat and cholesterol in the blood. This is a classic and very common root cause today. Your triglycerides will also skyrocket uncontrollably if the sugars and pastas in your diet are high. If you have a lot of chronic inflammation in your body, whether due to toxins, pollution, smoking, or prolonged poor diet, the need to produce cholesterol goes way up. This happens because cholesterol acts as a true biological bandage to try to fix and heal the walls of the arteries that are damaged and inflamed. If your body needs more cellular repairs, your cholesterol will always go up to meet that demand. This is simple and basic biochemistry, just as we teach in universities. It is crucial not to think of cholesterol as if it were a contagious disease or a poison. Millions and millions of people are taking extremely strong medications right at this very moment because they have a terrifying and paralyzing fear that natural cholesterol will somehow irreparably damage their hearts. If high cholesterol were truly killing people en masse, as they say, then older adults who naturally have higher cholesterol would be passing away first. But we absolutely do not see that in the real and global statistics. Some of the oldest, most active, and healthiest people in the world have cholesterol that is considered dangerously high by current commercial standards. The surprising truth that science shows us is that very low cholesterol in older adults is strongly linked to much higher rates of mortality from various other causes not related to the heart. Low cholesterol is definitely not synonymous with biological safety. It is not synonymous with incredible longevity or perfect brain health. In fact, cholesterol being forced to lower and lower levels is associated with reduced cellular immunity, deep depression, severe memory loss problems, and major hormonal disorders. Always remember that your wonderful brain is largely made up of pure fat and cholesterol. If you actively deprive your brain of this vital substance, it will suffer the consequences quickly. Observe human nature. Our cholesterol levels rise naturally and in a programmed way during the cold winter months. A very logical reason for this is because the intelligent body knows it needs much more raw material to try to produce vitamin D in the total absence of strong sunlight. But then, when summer finally arrives with its radiant sun, cholesterol levels drop. Why does this happen so perfectly? The most accepted scientific theory is that the abundant sunlight of summer is actively transforming all that extra cholesterol stock into usable vitamin D. So, if this is true, think deeply about our current modern life. If you run away from the sun and live locked in a closed and artificially lit office all the time, your cholesterol is inevitably going to build up. It accumulates in the blood chronically because you do not get the natural and necessary sunlight to convert it into other vital things like vitamin D. So, for our ancient biological system, living all day indoors is as if we were living in a permanent winter all the time. Our biological machine gets confused and hoards the reserves. Therefore, we keep asking the completely wrong medical question year after year. We always ask in clinics how we can keep pushing cholesterol numbers lower and lower using more medications. But we never stop to ask the real and most important question. Is it truly safe for our brain and body to live the rest of our lives with such low cholesterol? Cholesterol is in no way the great enemy that the industry has painted in recent decades. It is a vital and spectacular substance that our bodies intelligently create every day to keep us alive. Our ancestors survived and thrived precisely because they produced cholesterol in abundance. It is not a disease in and of itself. In fact, it is a powerful protection and repair mechanism against a multitude of problems. If you want to better understand how to nourish your body to keep everything in natural balance and want to invest in your preventive health, visit the supplement and equipment links I left in the first pinned comment. Thank you so much for joining me today and for investing in knowledge about your own health. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel to learn more science simply, and we will see you in the next video.